Welcome. Happy Wednesday. Welcome again to Purpose Talk with Decembre. I have two amazing guests on today. I am delighted once again to have none other than, let me say it, make sure I say it right. We have MPR Rich. And we have here on set today with me Stacks the Trapper, right? Or should we say Stacks the Biggest is actually who we have here today. So thank you guys for being a guest on today's show. Today, our topic for today is life after a murdered loved one. Unfortunately, we all know someone who has been murdered. Over the last 24 to 48 hours, we have had numerous murders, numerous shootings that has happened in America, and it's so unfortunate. Unfortunately, in last night there were 6 dead for murder. I'm sorry, 6 dead for injured. In the shooting in Colorado, there were 5 dead and 19 injured. So it is such a tragic incident that we have to keep reliving, and it's almost like we're becoming numb to it. It's like every day you turn on the news, someone is shooting, someone is being injured because they're running. Unfortunately, at the Walmart shooting, the guy was 31 years old, the manager. He's already been identified. His name is Andre Bing, 31 years old. And they played a couple of clips. There were people who actually were survivors of the shooting. A young lady said this morning that when the manager came in, she just laid on the floor and played dead when he started shooting. And she said she could just see the blood all around her, people falling out, people unfortunately being killed right in front of her. And that is such a tragic thing to have to witness your coworker who you're in there taking a break with, laughing, joking with. Now their lives have been taken because of someone else's selfishness. And in the shooting in Colorado, the young man was 22 years old, Anderson Lee Aldrich, 22 years old. And he was filled by hate. Unfortunately, there were so many signs. He actually had did a bomb threat to his mother when he was 17, and he threatened to kill her. And he said that he put explosives in throughout her home. She called the police, they came out, and because the family decided not to press charges were dropped. And they sealed his record because he was 17. Therefore, he was allowed to purchase a gun when he turned 18. And this was already in the making. They said on social media, he had so many posts about the LGBTQ community and how they should die, no one should be alive. And so he went into the club ready to commit murder. And unfortunately, but fortunately, the survivors, a few survivors jumped on him, tackled him, and stopped it, because it could have been way worse. So with that being said, I think we all have had someone or known someone who has died or been injured, been a witness to, have unfortunately had loved ones to be killed by murder. By a gun, by a gun who has been murdered. So tell me your story.
From what perspective? Like,
just all around. I would like to get to know you.
okay,
Let's tell the world about you.
I'm from Baltimore, Maryland. I come from a good family, got a good upbringing, a good grandmother that raised me, good siblings. I got into the streets at an early age, and of course, getting into the streets, you're gonna see things. Of course, gun violence was just number one. My city is just like a city just known for all the wrong things. Is it all bad? No. I know some good people that come from these places, but being the product of that environment, you actually see like the choices that you're really, really left with, So yeah, I come from that city, and then I got incarcerated when I was 20 years old. I did 10 years in the feds. I came home in 2018. I got married while I was incarcerated.
If you don't mind me asking, what led to your incarceration?
I got caught selling drugs. I got locked up with some money and some drugs in 2009. Okay. And that just shifted the whole direction of my life after that. You know, I ended up coming into Atlanta. I ended up finding a passion in music, finding a passion. I needed an outlet while I was incarcerated to actually, because I really felt like nobody wouldn't understand me, what I was going through or what I was saying. So I just needed an outlet. I couldn't really talk to nobody. So I really put it in poetry. And poetry somehow turned into music. You know what I mean? When people, other my friends heard me rapping, it was encouraged me to keep going and keep going. And I still never had took it serious until I met this guy, you know, to understand the level that you can go to with things and how your voice can be expressive and how you can use that voice. And it don't have to be, we don't have to promote gun violence. We don't have to promote, you know, we don't have to promote degrading women. We don't have to, these things that you say out of your mouth is a choice, you know, and it's,
Powerful.
and words are powerful in words. And we keep, like, if we understand that we keep drilling this message, that eventually it's just going to be none of us, you know? So, you know, we just basically talking our own demise out. So if we have a voice, we got a platform that we should be able to use for the betterment of us as a whole, you know, instead of trying to talk about killing this man, why you ain't talking about, you know, anything other than that? Like, why is him dying so captivating to other people? Like, we don't have the humanity aspect of it is done. Or we had to restore it. It's not done. Right. You know, as long as we allow, we can change. But yes, more about me. So I got here and I just saw an opportunity. I took opportunity and moved as strategically as I could be without getting myself into any types of, you know, contracts and trouble and stuff of that nature. I met Richie and he showed me like this platform on a different level. You know.
So when did you move to Atlanta? I
moved to Atlanta 3 years. I've been here 3 years now. Okay. It's been a great city. You know, it's provided some awesome opportunities. I've met some good people. You know, and but any urban city, you know, like it's just, you know, you have to be careful with how you move, as well. Definitely. I'm currently now doing music still. I'm still writing. You know, I write for myself. Sometimes I write for other artists if they need me to. If somebody requests it or need me to do it, I'm willing to work with a lot of other people that don't know their way in because I have a way in. You know what I mean? My way in was through him because he'll take his platform and share it with me. This is what we should do as each other. Like, instead of trying to talk about how you grade this person and kill this person and do, let's use these platforms that we have to help each other get to the top.
So that saying, reach one, teach one, reach one.
Definitely.
Actually work.
Yes. If you wanted to. Anything works.
Yeah. Correct. Yeah. Correct. So now you do music.
Yes.
Write music.
Yes.
And so your music is on what genre?
My genre, it was hip hop at first until I got more conscious of getting out here and actually seeing what's, you know, I don't try to, you know, seeing like what it's doing. Hip hop is it's a big business. And these people, they really don't have a concern for who dies behind it, who kid they want to check their feet. I was watching an interview, a Breakfast Club interview with La Cohen, and he had spoken. Charlamagne the God had asked him. He had said, "Why would you sign an artist that's promoting killing and all of this violence and all of that?" And he says, "Because I have a family to feed." So when he said that, I have a family to feed, I got a people that need to eat, he basically said that he really don't care nothing about what go on behind his family eating.
Correct.
You know, so it's just deep when he has said it. And, you know, this is coming from he owns Def Jam. You know, he's one of the friends. So when you start to see like what it is that these people, they have no moral or personal concern about you as an individual, as long as their family stay in power and as long as their family keep eating. Correct. You know, so that's what we need to take into consideration when we out here, you know, trying to, you know, they want us, our race is it's a lot to it. And I'm not racist, right. You know what I'm saying, at all, you know what I'm saying? But I'm starting to understand what's really against us and what we really need to see and wake up on. Correct. So I changed the way that I rap. I don't rap about drugs and guns anymore. I don't want to rap about strippers and, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to, even though this thing sell, and I can make a song and it could change my life forever. But if that's going to cause, if the root of me changing my life is diminishing and demising somebody else, and I don't need to change my life, I'd rather be like how I am now.
That is so well said. So do you feel like music has affected our young people?
Yes, it controls. Actually, music is an emotional thing. You know, it changes your mood.
Right.
So if it has that type of influence to change you from happy to sad, sad to happy, then it has that type of influence to influence you to do good and bad. You know, because we all move according to how our moods are. You know what I mean? You wake up, you feel good, you're in a good mood, you gonna have a good day. You wake up, you in a bad mood, you gonna have a bad day if you don't check that mood, because that mood don't have to stay bad.
Right.
And that's the thing. We wake up in a bad mood and think we have to stay there. We don't have to stay there. You know, so yeah, so I really do believe that it holds prevalence a lot over our young people for sure.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer in life and death is in the power of the tongue.
For sure.
I'm a firm believer.
You can speak life or take it out of somebody with
Right.
things you say.
Correct. And in how you approach someone.
Yes.
Because just because you're having a bad day, you don't know when you're talking to the next person what type of day they're having as well. And so just because you're having a bad day, you're rubbing that energy. I'm very protective of my energy.
For sure.
Anybody who's around me can tell you that. I'm very protective of who's around me, what I allow into my ear gate, from music
For sure.
to television. You know, I am a lover of everything on the ID channel. Everything. He made me do it, she made me do it, killer wives, killer husbands, everything. Everything that is crime. However, when I start feeling my soul being affected or my mind really getting affected, feeling like it's not in sync with my body, I turn to something uplifting.
Mm-hmm.
And so I truly do believe you have to watch what you listen to all the way around.
What's more importantly,
what you see.
And what's more importantly than that, and I want to touch on this, the most important thing is not only watch what you watch, but if you have children, watch what they watch. Because the things that they watch is influencing them and shaping and molding them into being who they becoming up as adults. And then you be wondering where your child learned this from. Well, I never taught them that. Television is teaching them the things that they hear are teaching them. The media is teaching them. And like I already said just now, these people don't care about what your child see and don't see and how it influences them or affect them. They have families to feed. Remember that.
All right, we're going to take a quick break right quick. Thank you so much. Again, we're here with these amazing guests. We're talking about life after a murdered loved one. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with Purpose Talk with Decembre. Welcome back to Purpose Talk with Decembre. Again, we are here once again talking about murder and how it affects your life. We're talking about the life after a murdered loved one. And we're here once again with Stacks, the biggest, and our amazing guest who has been here once before, Mr. Richie Rich, MPR Richie Rich. So thank you again for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you to all the guests as well that are here in the audience on today. I want to kind of touch bases. We talked about the Colorado shooting. We talked about the shooting that happened yesterday in Chesapeake, Virginia. But I also want to talk a little bit about the Cabo murder of the young lady, Shanquella Robinson. They kind of have been all over social media, who are friends, 7 of them were in Cabo. And I know you all have heard of it because it's been everywhere. Gratefully, the FBI have taken over now. So hopefully there will be some resolution for the family. They just had her funeral this past, I believe they said it was this past Friday. They had her funeral. And that has to be a tough thing for a family to go through when your child is in Cabo. They said it cost them almost $6,000 to ship her back over here to the United States. And that is just hard for the family, just to have to do that, to ship her back here, and your child is murdered They were saying it was alcohol poisoning, only to find out that it was spinal injury and her neck broken. Like that takes a lot of force in order to kill someone. It takes a lot of force. Unfortunately, again, it's the holidays. We all have lost someone or know someone who's lost someone. Christmas used to be my favorite holiday. Oh my gosh, and my whole family knows. Because my birthday is New Year's Eve, so Christmas to New Year's Eve was amazing. We would decorate every year right at Thanksgiving, buy a tree. I had to have a real tree. We decorate Thanksgiving night. By the next day after the whole house was decorated, I would be up all night long, gifts already purchased. You know, it was just my day. But in 2020, December the 2nd, my son was murdered. My only biological son was murdered. His life was taken by his alleged best friend. And this young man has been to my house, has called numerous times. My son really took him under his wing. He was a few years younger than my son, about 2 or 3. My son took him under his wings, and we still don't know why. He won't say why he did it. He shot my son 3 times. He shot him in his torso. He shot him in his lower back, and he shot him in the back of the head. The final bullet was the back of the head. And he left him in the woods. He was there for 7 days. We have been looking for him. We have been calling, texting. My son is the one who called his mama. He's a mama's boy. And we were looking for him, texting him. He was on house arrest for doing something stupid, still in the car with some friends. He was on house arrest. And we got the text message that his monitor was dead, actually 5 days after it was dead. And I called the monitoring company asking them, what happened? Like, why? Like, why y'all just calling me now? Where was his last location? They gave me a location to a wooded area. And they said, but it's a bunch of houses nearby, maybe one of the houses. And that next day, I actually had COVID during that time. The next day, it was raining and cold. I was taking my kids to daycare. And I told my youngest daughter, we're going to find, see if he had one of these houses nearby. But I couldn't stop coughing. I coughed and coughed and coughed and coughed. And I even told them we were going to check the woods because they said it was the wooded area. They gave us the exact ping. But I couldn't stop coughing. And then I started running a fever. So after we dropped my kids off, my younger kids, my foster kids off at daycare, I said, just take me home. We'll come back the next day. And that night, the police knocked on my door and said they found my son's body in the woods. And so I know it was God stopping us from going that day. I would have found my son. I can say for a parent, it is the hardest thing to go through. It is the worst thing. I never thought I would have to bury a child. He had a 1-year-old. So to watch her grow up without her dad, not having him around, Christmas has changed our lives forever. So that has been very detrimental to my family as a whole because we have to live. You don't go on, life goes on, but you don't go on. A part of you stays there. It stays in that moment. So I said all of that to say, I know you all have lost someone or known someone who has lost someone. And being in media, being in the entertainment industry, do you feel like they allow you the time to grieve? Do you feel like social media allow you the time to grieve? Or should it just be cut off altogether? Should you not even post about losing someone?
You don't really know what to believe or what to think for that individual or that family or those people, because a lot of the times, like, they're doing some of the most horrible things you could think. I've seen stuff of people's autopsies and stuff of people's actual murders. So when you're looking at that and you're thinking for that person's family or that person's loved ones, it's so deep that we can never even imagine the pain or the suffering that somebody's going through just based off of knowing that type of disrespect is being exposed for likes and views and clout and popularity. It's like, it doesn't make any sense to a normal person. So that also leads back to understanding some of these people have mental conditions that are deeper than rap at all. It's deeper than entertainment, it's deeper than the way they was raised. Like, some of this is really deep for some of these people to even want to exploit those things, because it's not something that's taken kindly or friendly at all. So that's a deep way of somebody thinking that that is appropriate, and these people that their families are trying to mourn and all of that, like they're not giving you no break, but then they're expecting those same people to go back to work, go back to their same job, get back into the studio or go on a tour, or any of these other things that they're calling their jobs or their work ethic. And it's like, you're not even giving people, I've seen people break down, like, and can't sleep, can't eat for weeks. And they might have lost somebody to a regular losing their life, not to murder, not to somebody doing something specific to this loved one of theirs. So I don't think that they know how to really, and if they even really care, to give that person that time to grieve and to feel and to live within that means of their pain. So I think that it's all kind of crazy on my end, from my perspective.
My perspective is what that is. It's complex because I believe it's two things. We got to go back to the origin of the source. Like these things are allowed to be put on these platforms through these media platforms, and these people, the Mark Zuckerbergs, and this stuff can be censored. It can be stopped.
Right.
They allow you to post it for a reason. It's all psychological. So I believe that it's inhumane for somebody to sit there and actually post something on a television or on something that somebody else's family has lost their loved ones. Somebody gets shot and lost to gun violence, and then they put it on the media. Let's just take Takeoff for instance. Why they're constantly running this through the media. It's a reason. It's a psychological reason to say that if you do this, we'll show it. Right. And they'll show it, but the reason they're showing it is not to show you, hey, this is what we don't want. They're showing you that this is how you get on TV. Yeah. This is how you get a camera in front of you. That's not how you get a camera in front of you.
Well, do you feel like Black Lives Matter? Just total, not just so much the organization, but do you feel like that we matter?
I feel like all lives matter. I believe like every life matters, that we all have a purpose. So like to just say Black Lives Matter or White Lives Matter or whatever, humanity matters. People matter,
But you see more of Black on Black crime. You see more of not saying that it doesn't happen in other communities, but it's because, as you said, social media, regular media, it more portrays Black lives, killing Black lives.
Yeah, because it's like, once again, we have to go back to the origin. Why are they constantly just showing that on TV? It's white people killing white people too. Right. Mexicans killing Mexicans. There's other neighborhoods and other countries that people are doing other things. Why are they focused media-wise on us as a people? Why? Because they want to prove to the world or show the world that we can't get along, that we'll hurt each other, we dangerous. These are the things that they put, and even the successful ones, they try to show you this is why you shouldn't be with the ones that's not successful. So come over here.
So do you feel like either one of you feel like that when we see the Black Lives Matter movement happen, that it's happening when it should happen?
No.
No,
I don't think so at all. Because it's like Black Lives Matter. Okay, we had the situation with Trayvon Martin. We start from the beginning when it all really kicked off. We had Trayvon Martin. They went down there, they marched. You got Benjamin Crump and all these attorneys out there. Then we had the next situation with the guy in Cleveland, Mike Brown. And then you got Rashawn Brooks. If you go through the whole thing, all attorneys that was appointed for them cases were all the same attorney. We don't have any black other civil rights attorneys that could have been in that situation. Why was all of this stuff coming out about what they did with this money for this movement after it happened? So Black Lives Matter to me was a smart idea, but how they took it and manipulated the people with it, I really didn't know. Because we need Black Lives Matter now. It's right now there's somebody in the neighborhood that got killed. Is of two families. One family going to court. She about to lose her son, and the other one already lost her son. And you know, these families in the neighborhood, they beefing. This family don't want this family over here, and they don't want to see because you done took my son.
Correct.
Where's Black Lives Matter at? Why y'all not out there mediating this between these families? This going on in the neighborhood every day.
Nah, and I think that it was supposed to be something positive, but I think that we look to do something positive like that only when it's exploited that something's going on. But you got people every day living everyday life. There's things happening in every neighborhood every day. The murder rate isn't one because it's popular on Instagram or social media. The murder rate is high. Thousands and hundreds of thousands of people happening every year, every day. This is happening, but nobody's talking about Black Lives Matters until it's some type of popularity or some type of social media presence to this situation. But these people aren't marching and going into these neighborhoods outside of the things that they're deliberately exploiting to make it as it's a big deal when every life is a big deal. That's why what he said, like, it's not just about Black life, it's every life matters, because you can't just talk about something when it's this situation. Y'all quick to say it about the cop versus the Black male or this, that, but this is happening everywhere. This is happening all over, and this is happening all the time. Just some of it is being talked about big enough to where people is saying, oh, let's rally up and talk about Black Lives Matter, but that's kind of cap when they did it for a certain reason, but then they manipulated it and used it for something completely different. And then it only exists when something major happened that people want to make a story about, that you got to know that one of these stories that are big, their family is somebody of importance. Otherwise, it's swept under the rug. There's hundreds of murder in every city, but they're not saying Black Lives Matter on every single case. And that's white on black, black on white, Mexican, Puerto Rican, it's all types. So it's one of those things that I look at, like, the idea and the concept was smart, but the way that they used it and how they use it and why they use it, it doesn't make any sense, because this needs to be something that's preached and stepped on every single day. There hasn't been a day at all that Black lives didn't matter.
Well, I hate to wrap this up because y'all are amazing. I can sit here all day with both of you, and I would definitely bring you back. Tell me where we can find you at. Where can we find you at?
Oh, you can find me on all social media platforms. You can find me on Instagram at Stax, STAXX _DA _biggest, BIGGEST.
And y'all gonna find me at MPR _Richie, RICHE _Rich.
All right, well, thank you all once again for tuning in to Purpose Talk with Decembre. Thank you to Preach the Worldwide Network, and to all the amazing guests and sponsors. We look forward to seeing you on next Wednesday.